for example, you get to vote here, and people assume that that is a privilege to vote for the same group of people every single 4 years. It's the same people. It's the same pot.
We all know why we get to this point, and I think it's time that this stop, and those that did all these things that we know they did start to face the consequences.
Woo! Okay, now's the time for us, okay, to help these kids not to have to put up and be where we're at today. All right, so the guys with the gray in your beard, and we're losing our hair, and we're kind of getting older, it's time for you guys to talk to your friends and get their asses out here with these kids so we can fix this shit for them.
Gandhi said that the worst form of violence is poverty, and he also said that we must become the change we want to see, so that's why I'm here for change.
They think that we're trying to push a communist agenda, a socialist agenda, and honestly speaking, that is the furthest from the truth.
By reverse mortgages, they've already stripped the property that would be given to us by our grandparents, and inflated tuition costs are going to make it impossible to pay back.
I'm here because I'm pissed off, because I'm a single parent, I have 3 teenagers, I'm in student debt, loan debt, that I can't even begin to pay off, and I'd like to see I'd like to see changes so they could go to college, you know? We need a better future for our kids. That's why I'm here.
It's the people that's controlling these banks. Once we control these banks and get rid of this banking system, people, then we'll be able to breathe. All the kids that's in debt, that money is created out of thin air, people, out of thin air. Until we understand that the money system is bogus, is bullshit, we're going to always stay in this situation.
You have to understand, we are the same species. We are the same people living on this planet that gets fucked every day. I'm living in a house where I can't pay any of my bills. I'm living basically off my boyfriend. I have a child I'm about to bring into this world. I don't know what the hell to do, and I don't know where to look for help.
Now, it's this system that has to be overcome. We have a gap between the rich and poor that keeps growing. By 2040, it's going to be the same as the gap in Mexico. I mean, we have to fight back, we have to organize, and we have to have very clear demands.
We want an end to police brutality.
We also talked a lot about education and how education is not fulfilling what we think should be taught.
That our value systems have to include everybody and everyone in the benefit, no matter what we think about other people and their habits.
Learn to support your local business. Instead of shopping over at a large supermarket, go to the smaller ones. Go to the farmer's market.
Did say that we need to be campaigning for better public transportation. We need bike lanes.
We want us to reinvest into clean energy sources for public transportation. Clean energy sources for public transportation.
Basically, the fact that we don't have control over our lives. This is supposedly a democracy, but in all situations, we really don't have this control.
Governments are taking away people's right to grow their own food. They're taking away our ability to sustain ourselves. Not only our economic sustainability, but our food sustainability. This country was built on the backs of farmers. What are you thinking?
We talked about a lot of issues that are destroying South Florida locally. We talked about the overdevelopment, especially the overdevelopment coupled with mass foreclosures and buildings being closed out.
Some of us identify that we have to get rid of certain politicians like Rick Scott.
Here Rick Scott is running a campaign, a war on the workers of this state, on our public workers, on our policemen, on our teachers, on our hospital workers. We want an end to the war on workers. We don't want any more layoffs.
Governor Rick Scott took $2 billion out of the education budget, but he added $300 million to the governor's office budget.
Talked about Bank of America with the debit cards and charging us $5 a month. Should all send the debit cards back. We don't want to deal with that.
We don't want corporate money. Corporations are not people. Corporations are not people.
There's one thing to say revolution, take down the system, but what are we going to put in its place to make it better? So that's why we're here, to establish a real and tangible goal.
So I have only one thing to say to the politicians that would take away our rights, to the electoral system that empowers the privileged. We are all one, no matter what you think.
Instead of separation of church and state, we should have separation of state and corporations.
I really we like the smell of protest in the morning.
We want to catch up with a global revolution. It is going on around the world. Now it's going on around the country. Now it's going in Miami, and we're going to occupy until we take back our democracy.
Hey man, this is my daughter, and this is what I'm fighting for.
Why
My name
are
is
you
Taylor.
here?
Tell them why you're here. Tell them what you're gonna do.
Change the world.
Cool. So what we're gonna do, as we have our discussion, let's a minute and a pop. All right, a minute each. So we can do this by raising our hands. We'll point at you and then we'll let you roll. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Come on,
Let's come up on the sketch.
And I can't find a job that pays more than minimum wage or offers me more than 20 hours a week. My mom is sick, my sister's in college now and can't afford tuition, and my uncle just lost his house and his job. And the problem is that this is not an exceptional situation of mine. This is happening all across the country to all kinds of people. I've got a sick mother and barely any health insurance covering the bare minimum, but she needs more. We've lost the option of universal health care. We've lost so many health care options. We're losing that battle, and that's got to end. We have to step up. We've got to fix this issue. These corporations have too much power in our government, and that drowns out our voices. And the problem is that there's a huge difference in number. The way democracy works is that, you know, the people have a voice. But the problem is that our voices, the 99%, our voices are being drowned out by the wealthy 1%. And that has to stop. And this is where we end it.
My name is Ralph. I'm 28. I just found out I'm going to be a father, which is the main reason why I'm here. I want something different for my child. But I know what's going on. A lot of you don't know what's going on in the economy. I'm a day trader. I've been in real estate. I'm a member of the community. I've given back. But today, it's not about us. It's a global revolution. And today, it continues in Miami. Libya, Egypt, New York, all over the country. Today, Miami starts here. Yeah. And you know what? Everyone else can say all their stories. We all have stories, but you know what? It's not about us. It's about unity. It's about one. It's about love. It's about peace. It's about ending the war. Yeah.
My name's Christian. I'm originally from Los Angeles. I'm here because of my friend Alfredo. And personally, I know everybody shares this. This originally should be the land of the free, home of the brave, not the land of the free and home of the slaves. And from Los Angeles to Vegas to here, I'm noticing everybody. And that's how I know it has weight, because it's not just here, and it's not just the main spots, main fashion capitals. It's all the small places. And very, 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 I lost my words, but change will happen, and I see it in everybody. I mean, if this is just this is just Miami. So you can imagine all the small spots. And like everybody else, I'm human, and I want to be able to live and do what I was born to do, not do what they say I have to do in order to live, because that's messed up. I have to work in order to live. That's it.
Woo!
Hi, my name is Stacy Kuhn, and this is Courtney Cates. We're part of an artist collective. We live with like 11 other artists in a warehouse. Nice. And we throw together big events, and our next big event is October 8th, and I want all of you there because this is all the same like-minded people doing the same things. We're part of an art revolution. It's bigger than just that. It's a political, it's a whole movement. It's everything. A global revolution, exactly. So, you know, that's why we're here. You know, we're artists, you know, trying to do exactly what everyone else is doing too.
The reason why I'm here is because I want to
What's your name and who are you?
My name is Ariana, but it really doesn't matter. Okay. I want some accountability. Okay? At this point, I think everybody or most people that is here knows what's going on, at what level and why. We all know why we get to this point. And I think it's time that this stop, and those that did all these things that we know they did start to face the consequences. But first things, we gotta stop them. They can no longer poison our food, our water, our mind. treat our animal, they are habitat of this planet as much as we are. Okay, we need to eat the meat, fine. Why does it have to be that way? Why can't we do it with respect? Why, you know, all this why? This is why I'm here.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
My name is Beatrice. I'm activist for peace and no violence for 30 years. And I'm here because the system is violent. All kind of violence, discrimination, economic violence, all kind of suffering to the people. Then I'm glad to be here with you guys, and we're gonna do with the no violence method, and we can win with that, okay? We can change.
Woo!
Awesome.
Here with some gray in your beards, okay? And it's good to see, because how many of you guys at your age now, you got no health care, you got no houses, they're taking them away from you, they want to keep you uneducated, they want to keep you sick, and they want to keep you broke. Woo! Okay, now's the time for us, okay, to help these kids not to have to put up and be where we're at today. All right, so the guys with the gray in your beard, and we're losing our hair, and we're kind of getting older, it's time for you guys to talk to your friends and get their asses out here with these kids so we can fix this shit for them. Woo!
Hell yeah! Hi, I'm Jeff. I think that it's very interesting that I'm standing in front of a statue of one of the great conquerors of this continent. And in a few days, some of the less conscious among us will be celebrating the anniversary of Christopher Colombo coming here, which began a legacy of exploitation of our land and our people, which has turned into the exploitation of us and the people of this country who are now being taken over by a system which is literally killing us. Okay? That's right. Okay, last night I cried because I was watching a film called Gasland. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to a screening of a film called The World According to Monsanto.
Yeah.
This is very sad. I'm really sick of having to watch all of these damn documentaries. Okay, they make me very sad and they make me very angry. We have to fight back on the grassroots level, realize our own power, and stop appealing to the powers that be, who don't have our interests, who just are here for profit.
Hello everyone, I'm Faith.
Hi, Faith.
I'm here because I'm middle class America, as are many of us, I'm sure, and the government is trying to take away middle class America, which means there's either rich or there's poor. There's either feast or there's famine, and there's too much famine going on in the world. Gandhi said that the worst form of violence is poverty, and he also said that we must become the change we want to see. So that's why I'm here, for change.
Woo!
Awesome. Sorry. Hi everyone. My name is Janelle, and I've been following this for about 2 weeks now. And sure enough, I'm astounded that this has happened and it's taken over the country, and how it resonates within so many of us to see the inequities that have been taking place. I have to say that I want this movement to succeed. I have noticed that the mainstream media is not covering any of this information, and when they do cover it, they decide to manipulate exactly what people are saying, sound bits here, sound bits there. So people online, when I basically befriended against my own better judgment CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC, just so I can see what people are thinking about this movement and what their thought process is. And unfortunately, what people who are not digging in to find out what information is truly there and access our reasoning for what it is that we're doing, they think that we're trying to push a communist agenda, a socialist agenda. And honestly speaking, that is the furthest from the truth. And I think that it's essential, if you are on Facebook, if you're on any of these social media sites, in order for our voices to be heard and to be taken seriously, is to correct these thoughts that are absolutely incorrect. We need to make sure that we get the message across that we are here. The message across that we are here because of the injustices that have taken place, with a corporate responsibility that's not affected not only us, but the rest of the world, and that we need to basically hold everyone accountable. It's not about being Republican or being Democrat, it's about being one, and about pushing the truth and the value system in the right direction.
And there was someone here who wanted to talk about immigration, or about something about undocumented folks. Who was that?
Oh, no, not documented.
Someone earlier mentioned important. Do you want to speak about that? I think you wanted to speak about that earlier. No? Okay.
I got something to say. Nobody wants to be deported. Hi guys.
And they also work very closely with the intelligence counterintelligence. So there's kind of this informal alliance and there's sort of a buddy network in place. And the effect is that, in March, early March, after the U.S. Congress had learned of all these things that Anonymous had exposed regarding Team Themis and the campaign to go after WikiLeaks, on behalf of Bank of America, Representative Johnson called for a congressional inquiry. Representative Lamar Smith, the Republican of Texas, shot it down, saying it was the Justice Department's role to investigate if a crime has been committed or not. The problem with that, of course, is that it was the Justice Department itself that recommended Bank of America go to Hunt and Williams when they were looking for a way to go after WikiLeaks. So, Justice Department, not surprisingly, has not investigated very thoroughly, and that's why we have to. So that just shows the extent to which, no matter what we can uncover, no matter what wrongdoing we catch them dead to rights at, Congress is not going to be helpful. These firms have lobbyists; they get a lot of money in. We have no money. We can't influence congressmen to investigate. We have to. What we have to do is work with the media because of that, and to otherwise do whatever needs to be done to ensure that attention is brought to this matter. And then beyond those sort of orthodox, traditional, power politics systems you have there, you also have these companies themselves have access to some of the best and some of the most little-known capabilities by which to get their message out on the sly. That itself is a problem that, to the extent that if it seems to them, as it's starting to, that they're sort of under assault, in so much as the attention's being drawn to them, they could easily deploy disinformation campaigns better than most anyone else could manufacture. So that's another problem. And also, anyone who pays for them, again, and these other companies who have need for that thing, and apparently a lot to do, will also have access to its capabilities. So things are about
fighting is fear. We're fighting against fear right now. With that said, I want you guys to know that shit's gonna get bad before it gets good. I want you guys to know that shit's gonna get bad. You might get hurt, you might not. Just, make sure you guys are aware of that. You understand? Tupac one time said, he said a quote, I'm trying to remember. Oh, he says he admires the flower that grew from the concrete because it had damaged petals. Now, pretty much what he meant by that is that the flower fought to get through that concrete. It had damaged petals, but it got what it needed to get. It got life. So, I mean, as long as you guys, we're going to fight, but just be here from the end. It might get bad, but it's for a good purpose.
You can see, I've been active since the 60s. Now, the one thing that's always remained the same struggle has been breaking away from the Democrat-Republican parties. We need to start a Labor Party. We need to start a People's Party or something of the same thing. Obama, the Republicans, the Democrats, they're all controlled by corporate dollars. They're all in favor of the corporations, and any little restriction the corporations disagree with. For example, just yesterday, there was a report because Congress said to the credit card companies, you can't charge late fees and raise the interest rates beyond a certain